was a game changer for me. ISB. It was an eye opener. The ISB the entire 1 year for me, and that gave me a lot of confidence. But we knew for sure that other categories will also come in, especially food, beverages. ये सब हो रहा था. New categories got added.
So coming to the the other part of the team.
Yeah.
I think very important part, right?
Yes.
I think,
very close to me.
So we wanted to kind of just dedicate an entire section to this, right? So I think coming to the team part, right? So one obviously I'd like to understand from you and for the benefit of our viewers as well. How did you go about building the team, right? And we leave aside the Ahmedabad equation and everything, right? I mean, the intent is to understand at early stages.
Yes.
How did you go about building it, right? Because you just have your name and your credibility and all, right? So probably we can start with the first 3 people that you got on board.
Before both of us came on board.
Before both of you also came on board. So
the very good question, because I think this is extremely important for people to realize it. Startup. The funding नहीं था, new idea. The only thing we had was profile of Swagat me on LinkedIn to give them some confidence that they'll come and they'll learn something. So what we did was we pitched learning very heavily for them initially, and we both knew that we can't afford to pay these big people, or at the same time we had enough experience to do things on our own. It obviously would mean we have to do a lot of things on our own at that point of time, but so that way. That's how call Swagat and I took. So that's how the first 3 people came. The first guy was the one who had worked very closely with Swagat. He had left the job somewhere. Swagat got hold of him and said, "Chalu kar de." Very young chap, only 2 years of experience tha, Maika pass out tha. He agreed. He used to like Swagat a lot. So he said, "Okay, kuch to seekhunga, karunga." And we tried to. For him, we tried to match what he was getting earlier to an extent, right?
As much as you could.
As much as we could at that time. And when somebody says match, you also have to show the larger picture to the people.
Right.
It's not always cash. That's when the ESOP thing comes into the picture, right? And you have to see. ESOP is the place you have to educate the people.
Exactly. I was about to come to that. लोगों को समझ नहीं आता.
किसी को मतलब वो belief नहीं होता, समझ नहीं आता, तो you have to give them some examples of it. See, the reality is from that point even today, I'll be honest. At different levels, the challenges have been different in hiring people.
Right.
We took a conscious call that we'll take freshers or people with 1 or 2 experience, not more than that for sure. That's how my first person, second person, third person come into the picture. Second, third were hires. We posted job portals में जाके डाला, वहाँ से आए थे वो बाकी दोनों तो. But once we had seen these guys and we knew that we want to do a lot of groundwork ourselves, till that time our first 7-8 people whom we need will all be either interns or freshers.
अच्छा.
तो हमारे पहले 4 interns थे.
Okay.
Right? From different colleges. SP Jain से थे, Nirma colleges से यहाँ पे से थे. And again, we are not going to IIMs and all the world and all that bit. So we went to these colleges, we hired. But what we did right, what I can tell you today is the amount of work we did to get the right intern, which many companies miss out. Because the intent was very clear. Whom we get, if he spends 4-5 months, and at least we will get to know whether the person is capable or not, and then he comes back the next year. तो हमें टोटल 4 लोग चाहिए थे, हमने 8 लिए थे. हमने 4 इंटर्न लिए, हमने 4 फुल टाइम लिए थे. Again, but these are people coming out of our campus. So we got somebody
mostly freshers.
Fresher not mostly. All were freshers. 8 were freshers for us.
Wow.
Our first 8 hires after those 3 people were all freshers.
Wow.
To do.
How did you decide to go for freshers? I mean, the intent, because you'll have to teach them, right?
Absolutely. So that's because somehow we thought that we know what we want to do. Let's not get another person in the room who has a third point of view to it. हमारे 2 point of view मिल जाए वही बहुत बड़ी बात है हर बात में, तो एक तीसरे को लाने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है? उसके साथ रूल सेट नहीं कर पाएंगे हम लोग. That was the goal. अब हम ऐसे लोग चाहते हैं जो एग्जीक्यूशन कर सकें, right? But at the same time, people who have that passion and belief in what we're doing,
intent and passion and everything.
So again, as a founder, प्लीज गो विद. आप उसको 50,000 दे रहे हो, जो भी पैसा दे रहे हो, उससे ज्यादा यू हैव टू सेल योर विजन of that to the person. Give him that confidence that he's coming to something that will really become big going forward. That's what we did while going to campuses.
Right.
And I repeat that many a times I've seen my friends who have startups, they've taken intern hiring so lightly. They would send somebody from the company to hire or
क्या वो इसको उठा लो, इसको काम करना है, 2 महीने का काम है.
But we did 3, 4, 5 rounds for interns. We were the first company doing so many rounds for interns on doing it. So glad to tell you, all 4 interns whom we took came back as full time to us.
Wow.
All 4.
Wow.
Out of 4, 3 of them are with me even today.
Wow, amazing, huh?
3 of them, you'll meet them today.
Okay.
You'll meet them today. Yeah. So, and these guys have grown in the organization.
Wow,
from
amazing.
literally doing absolute basic stuff to all the way leading teams of 40, 30, 40, 50 people out today.
Oh my
in
God.
6, 7, 8 years.
Amazing,
what has been?
What a journey.
Yeah, it has been. I feel so happy, so proud about that part of it. So this is what we continued for almost first 3-4 years.
You just hired interns?
We just hired freshers. Interns
and freshers.
Interns obviously will come in, but we know these are people I want to look for next year. But we continue to hire freshers, and we knew that we will grow these guys up. So जिस बंदे ने मेरे को as fresher join किया था, not as an intern, first 4, we start moving them fast. We start giving them more responsibility.
Accelerated growth.
Accelerated दिया उन लोग को, अच्छे से समझाया क्या करना है. We are very very clear on the roles and our expectations from them.
Amazing, yeah.
So they both are very very clear with the team out here, and we would spend whatever time is required till that guy understands and buys into it and owns it after that. Right? And the kind of energy these guys brought into the room was very different.
Very different.
See, think about
were they scared or overawed or anything? Or कि आजकल की generation तो क्या अलग ही है?
No. They were not at all. So again, that's why both sides had to change our ways of working. We had to be one of them. If we were what we were in our respective companies, it would not have worked.
How easy or difficult was that?
It was not actually difficult. It was not that difficult. I must admit that to you. Because thanks to those guys than us actually. And first rule that we did in the organization was no sir.
Very good. Yeah.
That was the first rule.
I love that.
Sit and स्वागत, because there was age difference, right? for them and us.
तो वो एकदम से
वो हमें पहले ही हटाना था. और वो हटाने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका ये होता है, which I have realized later. Like a guy 21-year-old coming and saying to a 37-30-year-old name which they had not said before, even in their respective internships they have said sir. The barrier is always there. Basic thing है, small thing है, but important है. So that is where we started off. And second we did was we will ensure that we at least tell them some problems the business we are facing. सब तो नहीं बता सकते थे. But so they start understanding where we are coming from and what we are doing, why we are doing it. That's how it all started off in doing it. And then every year we were very very clear that we will be next year उनका क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है, जो lot of times people don't tell them. On that, and also very quarterly, monthly, पूरा feedback जा रहा था उनको. See, your investment of time or effort on people have gone a lot. And it has paid off. It has paid off for us for sure. But the spending, मतलब आप आज तो तेरे साथ है. आज second half you look at my calendar. In 4 days, I am meeting close to 62 people. In 4 days. Wow. Talking about their annual reviews of last year. Wow. I could have easily chosen to give it to my HR to do it. But then when will I engage with them? When I get to their problem, I don't allow anyone to be in the room. It's only me and that person. That's it. Okay. No one else can be there. They have to be. They should understand that they can talk to me. I have to create that environment which I may or may not succeed. That is an environment where you can just talk what you want to talk. Right? That is be open. Free. दिक्कत बोल दो दिक्कत है. तो मुझसे दिक्कत है इसे दिक्कत बोलो तुम लोग. That is what this company has been built in. Wow. As an organization. Wonderful. So people have come. But now ये तो चल रहा था यार. This went on till 2019-20. But reality is these guys will have to expose them to the outside world. Right. And we needed some external help because we were too involved. Right. Up to a certain point it worked very well for us. After that it started hitting us कि we still getting into the details or day-to-day operations as well, which we can't afford both of us. So we had to get some senior people in, more experienced people in. So 2021-22 was the period when we started hiring senior folks into the leadership team. That's when we got a product guy, a retail head, a HR head, a finance. These are people with 12 to 22 years experience coming in.
We obviously with the number of people now, obviously the kind of complexity and the scale, you need more experienced hands.
Absolutely. And that brought in different challenge.
I am sure.
It was a challenge of saying you're sitting in a leadership discussion with 6 or 8 of them with 5 years of experience have grown in this organization. They think it is their organization, which is the right thing to do. With 6-7 people have come from outside world and are shocked to see 27-year-old, 20-year-old taking a decision, probably over the same scale as he's taking a decision. Right? It is difficult. It is difficult.
Right. How did you manage that?
So this I had underestimated the kind of problem it can create, right? And the moment I realized it, also Swagat realized it, we had to take some actions immediately. So it was bit of a coaching to both of them, not just one of them, both the sides. So there was bit of a coaching to these set of guys that what these guys bring on table and how we have to see these guys. At the same time, to these guys to say that it is not just because they've been 5-6 years we support them or we have encouraged them.
They understand
it is what they understand nuts of the business that is going around on it, right? So इसीलिए फिर then slowly
then it kind of started coming
last
together.
5 months have been amazing for me. Last 5-6 months, the way they all get together and do things. Prior to that, yes, 3-4-6 months.
So your core group would be now how many people? Like 10, 12 people?
So total we have 14 people.
14 people.
14 is 8 under me, 6 under Swagat.
Got it.
Who are literally core to us.
So 14 and 2. So it's basically a largest team of around some 16 odd people between all of you.
Yes, absolutely. 16 people
that's fairly big,
for a team size of 200, we believe it's okay. As of now, but
no, as in fairly big in terms of 16 people alignment and coming together from that point of view. 5-6 log, 8 log tak aap कर लेते हो, right? 16 is a fairly large number.
Absolutely. बहुत मजा आता है मीटिंग में इसलिए. I get to hear a lot. With me, another thing is I don't allow those curse words to be used in the meeting. नहीं तो ये लगी दुनिया चल रही होती है. हमें वो समझ आ गया था. एक दिल्ली से आया हुआ बंदा है, एक गुजरात की बंदी है. छोड़ दिया उनको टेबल पे. फिर देखो तमाशा.
No, but I must say, I mean, the minute I entered the office, right, the kind of vibe that I could see, right, I mean your team, whoever I've interacted with, they were like, it's really nice, really nice. It's so nice to see. It's even when we are looking outside and people are kind of working, right, there is this sense of calm and happiness around, right? So I think wo hai, it's and it's a vibe, it's not I'm not saying it because मैं ऐसी कुछ marketing कर रहा हूँ, but it's actually like that, there's a vibe.
Glad to hear it.
No, there's
और मैंने किसी को सुबह नहीं बोला था आज की स्माइल करते रहना जो हो रहो.
बल्कि you must have been in office today. आज तो यार सर ऑफिस में.
Another thing I avoid, it should not make any difference whether I'm there or not. So and for entrepreneurs who are there, I keep saying in between.
Yes.
Because लोगों को पता होना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने भी सीखा है, पता नहीं था. See, Unilever में कोई अगर टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा होता था, you literally गले से पकड़ते थे उसको कि भैया कर क्या रहा है तू. But when there are such young people, no, even if you see them कि हाँ काम नहीं हो रहा, you have to move away. Let them do what they're doing.
Let them do.
अगर आप इतना माइक्रो मैनेज करने चले गए ना लोगों को टाइमलाइन, it's only downhill from there. You have to give people that confidence and space. आपको जो करना कर लो.
So as a manager, you don't micromanage from what I could.
हाँ मैं दोनों हूँ. If you ask my people, they'll tell you this. So when things are not going right, and I see consistently there are problems, then I'll get into it. When I see कुछ तो गड़बड़ है जो या तो होल्ड में नहीं आ रहा, जो सॉर्ट नहीं हो रहा, then I'll get into it. Otherwise, I'll stay back from them.
Got it.
The best part of this generation for me is, and आज से कुछ I think 8 साल पहले की बात है. There's a client who's complaining. I mean, client is escalating it to me. So they added me in the WhatsApp group. They say @ please look into this. It is happening for long. This problem is happening. Whatever it was. One of my 24-year-old replied back before I replied back to it. कि whoever that person was to addressing it, completely understand there's a problem. I take the responsibility of it. Don't think SID is required for it. That confidence of writing to a founder.
Amazing.
सामने founder थे उनके. भैया और मुझसे पूछा भी नहीं गया ये. And she said, I'm going to take responsibility. What's the problem? आपको काम चाहिए तो दूंगा.
Amazing.
I love that.
And that will give you so much confidence.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. You will feel कि I've done my job well.
बालों से नहीं लगेगा, शक्ल से नहीं लगेगा. But I am almost 10 years younger because of these guys.
I'm sure.
The energy that I get out of these guys.
I'm
right?
sure.
So I love every bit of it. And all thanks to them. इतना easy time भी नहीं होता मेरे साथ. किसी का भी नहीं होता होगा.
Right.
They'll be vocal about it in some point of
time. When you're not there, then they will be vocal.
हम ही होता बोलते हैं. वो टेंशन नहीं इन लोगों का. So they'll tell you. So my I know I'm going off your.
नहीं, please.
So my routine, which all of them know, is I get up at around 4:30 in the morning.
अच्छा. Okay.
4:35 I'm out. I'm off the bed.
I've got messages from it like 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the night. मैंने कहा भाई ये आदमी सोता कब है?
I'll be off my bed between 4:30 to 5 for sure. 5 to 6 is my tea plus messaging people around कि भैया कुछ गड़बड़ हुआ है जो सबके so
for the day basically
for the day क्या है जो भी कुछ करना जो fight is not messaging उसके बाद I'll do something whether it's cycling or running or whatever it is for 1 hour 1.5 hours what I do and then I get fresh and then I sleep.
Then you sleep again?
I sleep again. So I everybody in the office knows you can't message calls said from 7:30 to 9.
Then you're sleeping?
I'm sleeping. I'm not connected to the world at that point in time. I need that sleep for the rest of the day.
To charge yourself.
तो मैं सोता नहीं मैं सोता हूँ. But मेरा break
नहीं होता. टाइम है सोने का.
but that's how my routine is. I sleep at 12, I get up at 4:30. I'm doing few things from 4:30 to 7:30. 7:30 to 9 I'm sleeping.
Right.
Then, and somehow, again, both Swaghat and I are not a big fan of work from home. Some people may not like it, but no, हमें team चाहिए साथ. More for them, उनसे ज़्यादा हमारी energy के लिए चाहिए.
Right.
A lot of energy from people.
So to that point, I mean, post obviously in the pandemic, everybody would have been working remotely. So now it's like you've called people back to office.
Everyone.
Everybody's in the office.
We have been in office since March 23rd को बंद किया था office में हमने. We have been in office since April 10th. खाली 17 days के लिए office में नहीं थे. That's it. Only उसके बाद थोड़े लोग आए थे, ज़्यादा नहीं आए थे. Slowly started building up and gave confidence people we can all work. And luckily it worked for us. किसी को ऐसा हुआ नहीं.
कुछ major कुछ
नहीं हुआ. एक second wave आया था तो कुछ 5-10 दिन के लिए बंद किया था, but we have been open all throughout.
Okay.
I can't work from home.
Okay.
And I luckily have few people who can't work from home. So that works in my favor. And seeing them other get confidence.
Right.
फिर आप photo भेज देंगे, थोड़ा मस्ती कर रहा है, ये कर रहा है, तो फिर.
I think also in the pandemic also this is one thing that kind of came through. I think people wanted to get to office because I think everybody was so tired of sitting at home,
absolutely,
right? And
absolutely.
I remember when we kind of got into that whole office work kind of mode. My suggestion to people was that use your office time as the getting together time. और काम घर से कर लो. लेकिन you come together and because I think that energy of people kind of is very different.
No, right? Absolutely. मतलब घर से हमारे में बहुत लोग नहीं कर सकते अभी. But now it is mandatory.
अच्छा. Now
it's mandatory. I'm using as a word. While people have options if there are problems at home, उतना वो नहीं मना करते. But otherwise.
मतलब वो तो थोड़ा that's flexi. That's flexibility. That's not like
absolutely.
वो तो रहेगा ही, वो तो पहले भी होता होगा.
Correct. थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो जाता है, but ठीक है, that's fine.
Which is okay.
But it's not like TCS saying अच्छा 30 साल बाद ऑफिस आ जाओ.
Which is what I just read. I think somebody is doing some bad PR for them. The negative PR is suddenly ऐसी headline 1 lakh people.
हाँ, correct. इतना कैसे हो गया?
Correct. Great, cool. So can we meet a few people from your team?
Absolutely.
I think if you could just ask them to come in, I think that will be fabulous.
I will. What I'll do is they'll come in. I'll introduce.
Yes,
from
please.
my side to
yes,
you.
Please.
What
yes,
is my
please.
view of them?
Yes, please.
And then I'll leave it to you.
Yes, please. Cool. We have here, the young team that Sid had spoken about, right? And they have graciously agreed to be part of this conversation for a brief while. So I think what we'll do is we'll quickly have a round of introduction from all of you, and then if you could just tell us. Your names and what you guys do and look at over there, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so please.
Shouldn't it be ladies first?
Okay, alright. So hi, I'm Radhika Panchal.
Okay.
I have been a part of Smytten for almost like 5 years now, and I have been looking after the customer engagement as well as the experience bit of it.
Okay.
But along with that also, in the last 5 years, there were a few more opportunities which were given to me with respect to exploring the operations bit, where I also managed the last mile operations.
Okay.
And there were a few tasks with respect to offline marketing of Smytten.
Okay.
So we did in 2021, we managed to hold one of the biggest offline events of Smytten here in Ahmedabad itself.
Wow.
So yeah, nearby I've been doing multiple tasks.
Okay.
And it's been a good journey so far.
Fabulous. So 5 years of
almost 5, yeah.
Almost 5 for you.
Hi, I am Chhavi.
Okay.
I am basically from Kutch, not from Ahmedabad.
Okay.
Been associated with the company for like almost 7 odd years.
Okay.
So back in 2016 is when Sid came to our university for placements. That's when I started with my internship.
Wow. Okay.
Did my internship here. It was an amazing journey. We were just 5 odd people in this office.
Right. And I think Sid was mentioning a very smaller office. This is a new office, right?
Yeah, it's a
right?
new office. I mean, it was just a 700 square feet ka
Probably
office.
about the size of this room.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Actually.
Okay. All right. So that's how you started. And what do you look at over here now?
Currently, I'm in founder's office.
Okay.
Looking at whatever Sid and Swagat has to offer generally.
Right. Okay.
Anything can come on the plate. You just have to do it. Can't say no to it.
Okay.
Okay. So hi, my name is Purav Thakur. So I have been associated with Smytten. I have been with Smytten in the past 4.5 years.
Okay.
So I started as an intern in the planning team. Then took on, as they both have mentioned, Udte Teets as they came along the way. So went to from as an intern in ecom planning team, then to leading ecom planning team, then moving to procurement, then taking up, then being a account manager for a third party, and then coming back to procurement and leading the entire planning team. So that has been my journey over the past 4.5 years. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I mean, it's not opportunities. I would say it's just Udta Teets. We cannot say no.
Super. So tell me something. I think from what I gathered from my conversation with Sid, you guys, this is your first jobs for all of you, or you guys had prior experience? You obviously came fresher from college. What about you guys?
No, I did the trainee stint in a previous in an engineering company. That was one of the biggest reasons why I actually joined Smytten. So it was not a fond experience, I would say. The very classical hierarchy, organization structure. Right. And I'm not some person who can actually accept. So when I came for the interview, I could see two people wearing Batman t-shirts, sitting on beanbags, doing their work, and I was like, this is my place.
See, this is one thing that at least I've always kind of said to a lot of young folks who are looking at startups, right? At the end of the day, we are all rebels. Kahin pe na, there will be one common thread that you will see in all of you, right? You guys are going against the norm in some way. कुछ भी हो सकता है. राइट, चाहे आप बोलोगे मुझे शादी नहीं करनी है, चाहे आप बोलोगे कि यार मेरे को तो शादी पहले करनी है, whatever, not just marriage, the kind of choice of clothes that you wear, the car that you buy, and I've seen it in so many cases, right? I mean, that rebel part, is something that will bind all of you, right? Going against the grain, right? So what about you? You also worked somewhere?
So I worked for a really short period of time in a banking sector, and just like how Purav mentioned, I also got to know that banking sector is not meant for me, or I am not meant for it, and I had interned under Sid's guidance for a third party, and because of that duration or that experience, I got to know what is the culture of Smytten, what are the ways of working, and that actually attracted me to come back.
Super.
And that's
super.
All.
So how if I were to this is a joint question, collective question to all of you, right? How did you guys decide to kind of join a company which was relatively new, right? So I mean, obviously Smytten now is very big, and and then from what I gathered from Sid was that one of the leading lights in Ahmedabad, so to speak, in terms of the number of people who are working. And this is wonderful, by the way. It's fabulous. You need one company to take off in a city. And the ecosystem gets built around it. We've seen it in Pune, right? We've obviously seen it in Bangalore, right? That's the biggest example, right? I mean, you had that success of Flipkart and Infosys, rather, I would say, right? And then suddenly, there's a lot of other IT companies that came up. You had a success of Flipkart, and a lot of other things kind of came up, right? Pune also is similar story. Jaipur, right? All this, Gadi.com and all of these guys, right? These guys are based out of Jaipur, right? And I think it's the same thing is building out with Smytten over here. I see that, right? So how did you guys decide to join, right? I mean, what was the driver for you?
Okay.
Anyone? Yeah.
So 3-4 things actually. So when I came for the interview, I was actually looking to interview for one of the bigger colleges in India for management. So one of the core thing was that they looked at experience. What all experience did you have? So I looked at Sid and Swagat's profile. They were both from ISB, from the same batch. So I was like, हाँ चलो कुछ तो अच्छा कर रहे होंगे. Second thing, being a through and through Gujju boy, wanted to stay in Ahmedabad for as long as I could. Found a company, an e-commerce startup in Ahmedabad. That was a big tick mark for me. Thirdly, when I came for the interview went amazingly. I mean, the questions that kind of were asked, I did not know them, but I could answer them. The vibe of the place, the vibe of the company was
and
amazing.
how big was the company at that point in time?
Around 7-8 people in the office, in Ahmedabad office, and probably around the same number in Gurgaon office.
Gurgaon office.
15-16 people. It would have been that.
So what about you? You came through campus.
Yeah, I did come through campus, but my interview was not at all.
Not at all good.
It was not at all good. I genuinely don't know till date that why did he select me, but I guess it was in his guts, I believe. Okay, in joining a startup is more about, I mean, you get to build each and everything, right? You work for an established company. It's like you have to work in a particular way. You do not drive the rules or regulations for the company.
True.
You do not drive the processes for them.
True.
So that is something, and the learning curve in that phase versus the learning curve in any established company, that is way far, very, very, very different.
Right.
So that is what keeps us going, that we are here to build something together. And that is why I believe, I mean, we are still here.
Yeah.
That is the biggest driver for us.
Fabulous. What about you? Like you mentioned, you already knew Sid, I think, through a third party. So I think.
So even before that, like I mentioned, that I was working in a banking sector. So during the college placement, I had applied for a few companies, and I also got selected in few of them. But after working over there, I got to know that no, this is not Smytten, or this is not the culture where I actually want to spend 80% of my productive days time. Like, this is one place that it is known for its people, and it creates that kind of comfort that you can just give out whatever opinions you have, whatever ideas you have, and the best part of it is the support and the trust that comes from Sid and Swagat. They literally just told us, okay, you'll be handling this, you'll be handling this, you'll be handling this. And we didn't have any idea that, okay, fine, karenge kaise? So they were like, we will be with you. We will also, make you fall. But we'll be there to support you. And that's how we learned it throughout. Because it's not a 9-to-5 job.
Absolutely.
It's a culture where you come, you look up to coming every day because you're doing something that you really love, or maybe you learn something, you add some value, and the biggest kick is when you get to know that, okay, fine, your efforts are actually making the company grow. And that's like amazing.
No, it's amazing. And I think also obviously the freedom that you guys would have got from Swagat and from Sid would have played a role, right? But wasn't it a little unsettling to just be handed something कि यार करो?
I think that's what you mentioned, right? That's what you mentioned, right? We were born rebels. And probably that
you were ready for that, and mentally you were ready कि यार
So especially in my case, so when I interviewed, I did not expect all of this to come along my way. So I did not know that startups come with a lot of hard work or urda tirs, but that's what I found that I enjoyed a lot more when the shit hits the fan. You have to work, and then that gives me more kick and more energy to do it.
I think this generation, I think I'm dating myself and Sid and Swagat, right? हम काफी old हो गए हैं. I think this generation is like something very very similar to, and I always use this is a very favorite example of mine of like Bollywood, right? पहले Bollywood में क्या होता था, हमारे संजय दत्त, जैकी श्रॉफ ये लोग आते थे. They were like raw and unprepared and all. Now everybody who comes in has a six pack, knows how to dance, knows how to act, has done something from New York Film School. So they are, you guys are so aware, right? And which is fabulous, right? This is so good to see, because I think that kind of provides a lot of support to the leadership team as well, right? And when you have youngsters like you kind of coming up and saying we will do it, right? I think job well done for Sid and Swagat both. Great, super. And obviously your journey, like you guys mentioned, you've grown and you've kind of you're getting more responsibility and more roles and all, right? So two parts to this question. One is obviously how do you feel when you achieve something, right? That's number one. How does your family take it, right? I mean, and I'm assuming there's obviously a bit of this thing कि यार कहाँ join कर रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, types and all, especially in Ahmedabad and a startup in Ahmedabad and all, right? So how did the family take it? How do you feel when you kind of achieve that success, right?
So I mean तो पहले तो नहीं था कि ये कहाँ जा रहे हैं, क्या कर रहा है, नाम नहीं सुना, क्यों कर रहा है, ये सब नहीं समझ में आ रहा. And but then I am always that person कि so earlier in my life I faced a little bit of here and there कि ये मत कर. फिर I went to college and moved to a phase wherein I rebelled. मैंने 4 साल college के नहीं My mother and father have actually visited my college only once during the 4 years. So so that's what actually this company is also was like. When I joined, they did not. I just told them every 6 months कि चल रहा है, अच्छा चल रहा है, पूछना मत. Exam paper अच्छा गया है, ज़्यादा पूछना मत. I am enjoying being here. I am getting many things to learn, and I'm. This
so the same template you applied to the company as well. कि company चल रही है, बंद नहीं हो रही है, salary आ रही है.
Salary आ रही है. ज़्यादा मत पूछना, मैं तुमसे पैसे नहीं ले रहा. ज़्यादा मत पूछना, मेरे को मजा आ रहा है.
Okay, what about you guys?
So, okay, mine was since I have been living out from my own place for like 11 odd years now. I've been in Ahmedabad only, so kind of दूसरा घर अब बन गया, ना यहाँ से निकलने का मन नहीं करता, वापस जाने का मन नहीं करता. So similarly is with Smytten too. I mean, we look forward to coming here. We look forward to talking to people around here. I mean, they've become kind of close family to us. So yeah, I mean, वो comfort level अभी आ गया है, तो it just feels good. So they know that they're happy with that. कि okay, you are happy in the company, just be.
Have your parents visited the office?
Yes.
They have?
Yeah, they say this.
Sid was mentioning that there's
when we inaugurated
was
they
done.
did come.
So each and every department's inauguration was done by our respective parents.
Wow, amazing. That would have felt
it was really it was really nice.
Like that was the moment it changed from my parents कि अब तू बड़ा
निकम्मा नहीं रहा, ये कुछ कर रहा है लाइफ में.
मेरे लिए मोमेंट था जब अपनी लास्ट फंडिंग आई थी, तब न्यूज़पेपर में फोटो आई थी. Like, oh, now you're doing something.
But now they're actually very proud of the growth that we have seen as individuals and also the company that we are associated with.
It changes you as an individual as well, right? I mean, you kind of tend to obviously be more confident, and you're handling more responsibility as you're going along as well, right? So I think I saw in one video where I forget the name who said it, right? But he said that parents eventually want to see us happy.
Yes.
That's all, right? They want to see us safe. They want to see us happy, right? Even today, right? I mean, my mom called me. तू पहुंच गया ठीक से? मैंने कहा हाँ मैं पहुंच गया, मैं आपको बाद में कॉल करता हूँ. So you even when you're old, but for your parents you're still young for them. So great. So any advice that you would want to give to budding sort of students or anybody that who are trying to follow this path of joining startups, right? करना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए, definitely करना चाहिए.
Yeah, definitely. मतलब the growth is there, the learning curve is very steep. You get to learn so many things in as short amount of time as you can expect.
Isn't there this element of instability that you guys feel कि यार कल चलेगी नहीं चलेगी types? No, you don't.
No.
Actually, Sid gave us that comfort. Sid gave that comfort to us a long time when we actually joined. He never actually have let us face that amount of pressure कि ये नहीं करेंगे तो ये होगा. And again, with his experience and his mentorship, we have kind of achieved what we wanted to as a company.
Right.
So,
apart from that, even he has been very vocal about. Vocal in the sense that he will tell us what his conversation with Mansi was कि 2 साल और दे दो, 3 साल और दे दो, कुछ ना कुछ तो हम तोड़ ही लेंगे. So that gives us confidence कि he has a vision, Swagat has a vision, so why not?
Communication from his end was absolutely top notch. From their end, both Sid and Swagat's end was absolutely top notch, and they were very transparent. But even if you don't have Sid and Swagat, so please join a startup. It's actually an amazing experience. You get to learn so many things.
There's a lot of learning.
There is a lot of learning, and you know what, like you mentioned in the beginning itself that we are a rebellious group of people, right? What happens is, we don't like when people say that don't do this, do it this way. Here and basically in all the startups, we are the ones who set all the processes. We are the ones who also amend the processes, and we are also the ones who will say, no, we will not do this because this is not making any sense.
Right.
We will not simply follow something because it has been told to do so.
Right.
So by being in a startup culture, guys, you get so many opportunities. You get a platform to be creative in your own space. You get the flexibility to put on your ideas. Like if we talk about any other big notch company, right, they have a very hierarchical structure and they have everything very set that okay, fine, this information will go from top to bottom and only this much of information will go. From bottom, whether any ideas are going up or not, we don't really know. But in a startup, everyone works together. There's no hierarchy. So it's just amazing. Like you feel valued. And also for Smytten, for Sid and Swagat, the question that you had asked, that weren't you scared that what will happen if this doesn't continue? Maybe both of them, they ensured that whatever decisions they are taking, maybe the risk factor they had factored in a way, in a manner where it doesn't turn out to be very negative for the business or for the people. So they have always kept people's priority as P0.
Amazing.
So they have always taken care of us. They have been very transparent also that okay fine, ये business यहाँ पे ऐसे चल रहा है guys, we need to take
it to this.
We need to be cautious and all that.
Right.
To the point that we have this freedom also that we can go and tell them, okay, I'm not enjoying this role.
We
can move to something else. I want to explore this. Can you do that? And they will ensure, maybe not there and then, but they will ensure that you get something similar to that, or at some point in time you do get to explore that particular department or function.
Amazing.
On top of that, another thing that he did mention once was they don't go after money, right? That will come to you anyway.
So
just see that what you are doing, what roles and profiles that you are in. If you're there, then the money will fall in place.
Well, so there you have it. The importance of good mentors and good leaders, right? These guys are very lucky. They've been blessed with good leadership, and I think money, definitely, I completely agree with it. Money is always a byproduct, guys. Right? ये चीज समझाता नहीं है हमको कोई स्कूल में, कॉलेज में. We are all running after the same jobs and the same kind of careers and all. But I think as this experience will change you for life. And I'm sure you guys are already realizing it now, 5-6 years into the journey, right? So thank you so much, right? Fabulous to get your views, right? And I think this episode should be out in some time, so please make sure that you watch it, and please also show it to your parents as well.
हम आएंगे तो ही सब्सक्राइब करेंगे.
आप जरूर आओगे, आप सब्सक्राइब करोगे तो आप जरूर आओगे. All right.
Thank you so much for having us.
No. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So here is the second set of youngsters that we are speaking with at Smytten, right? If you guys could kind of give us your intros and what do you look at over here, and then we'll go from there. So please, you first. Yeah.
Sure. Hi, I'm Pratiti Shah. I've been with the company for over 5 years now.
Okay.
I've celebrated all 8 birthdays because I also did my final year internship here and came back for a live project.
Oh wow.
So technically I've been with them since the beginning.
Almost the beginning.
I've been with them for 5 years now. I started out as an intern. In the customer service team, moved up the ladder.
Okay.
I've been a part of the business development team for over 4 years now, and
wow.
have been managing. So currently, I lead the business development team of 30. So.
Wow, 30 people, very nice. What about you?
So basically, my name is Nesarg and just missed few months before joining Smytten. I mean, I was there since inception. So joined as an intern.
Okay.
I didn't know how to spell even Smytten, but yes, this November will be completing 7 years in Smytten.
Wow, amazing,
and,
man.
I have been sort of an all-rounder for the supply chain, entire supply chain. So I have been into multiple roles.
Okay.
Started with simple executive in order processing. Then moving around different verticals such as customer delight and planning angle, and then currently I'm handling the complete operations, first mile, last mile, and the fulfillment angle.
Wow.
Wherein directly getting in touch with to reduce the lead time and working on multiple projects.
Okay.
And since then, since November 2016, it has been a fabulous journey till date.
Wow.
And just can't get it off.
He's an one-man army.
This is amazing, yeah, amazing. And so you you guys have been, there's no prior experience anywhere else. Most of your experience has been with Smytten only. Or have you worked somewhere else?
Before Smytten, I was placed into Flourish Pure Foods.
Okay.
It's a sort of a dairy, the industry is a dairy industry, where I was again into core operations as in capacity and inventory planning. But that was 13 month stint. And Smytten is my second corporate journey.
What about you?
All the experience I've had thanks to Smytten.
Wow, kya baat.
Multiple internships, but the only experience I have is Smytten.
Proper experience. So, first of all, I think, fabulous to see youngsters kind of, coming in and staying the entire course of the journey that the company has had. Must have been some great learning for you guys, right? All through and through, right? So, what prompted you to join Smytten in the first place? सिड और स्वागत का नाम नहीं लेना है. नहीं, I'm just kidding. I know it's them. It's them. The reason why I said is I know it's them. So what prompted you? I mean, what was the trigger point for you guys?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he wants his audience to know why I joined Smytten. But if I have to be very, very honest, and that's how I like to be, I joined this company. So I was a fresher, right? I was just out of college. And one of the things that my college taught me was that every year 70 startups shut down, 70% of the startups shut down in the market. So one of the reasons I joined was because I was hoping the company will shut down. I got to know a lot about Smytten. I joined because when I came here for an interview, because it was mandatory for us to go from our college.
Right.
And the first person I spoke to was Siddharth. And he just had this aura about him. I was like, oh, chill insan hai, maza aayega, flexible lag raha hai, open minded lag raha hai. So it will be fun. And then 6 months, 8 months, 1 saal mein company band ho jayegi. So then I can finally tell my parents that 9 to 5 ka ek baar maine koshish kar liya. I'm going to go back to my designing.
Acha.
So that was my thought.
Okay.
But that day and today,
बताओ यार, कंपनी बंद ही नहीं हो रही. अच्छी होती जा रही है, बड़ी होती जा रही है. What is this?
No, but that day and today, I couldn't have been happier that I, forced myself to give it a chance, because I know company did give me a chance.
Right.
And so that's why I joined Smytten.
Right. Wow. Wonderful. What about you?
So my reporting boss from my previous organization, Proshi Rawat. So he's a friend of Sid. And when I left Flourish, he recommended a couple of us. So the first thing which I would say this, I didn't want to leave the core operations. I was doing that, and while my colleagues in my batchmates in my masters have moved to a different roles, मतलब किसी ने HR major किया तो कोई sales में चला गया, कोई marketing में चला गया. I didn't want to leave operations. So this was the role which I was offered, was the core operations. And I mean, we started off on a very, very basic note. It was like a open ground for us. तो सिड का सिर्फ एक ही मोटो रहा है that this is your playground. Just play the game, make your game big. And every professional, I would say, requires certain things from the organization. And one thing which I would say is to get to be heard. And Sid was all ears for us.
Got it.
जब हम कुछ भी सजेशन लेके जाते थे, आज सजेशन दिया, कल इम्प्लीमेंट हुआ, परसों रिजल्ट मिल गया.
अच्छा.
So there were no SOPs, there were no processes.
You're making it up as you are.
We were learning from all our mistakes. We are just keep on inventing the wheel. So the things which we said today became the processes today. The processes which followed became the SOPs for the third day.
Right.
So it gave us a lot of confidence and a lot of happiness, and that was the self motivation for all the bunch. And to improve, to keep on improving, to keep on growing, to keep on making more and more mistakes.
Right.
And till date we are doing that. We are just learning and we are just improvising on our own. So
how do you take? I mean, कोई बड़ी responsibility तो अब है ही. You guys have obviously grown with the company, right? डर नहीं लगता बड़ी responsibility लेते हुए?
One thing that's it. Since the very beginning, since day one, doesn't matter whether you are heading a department or you are just a mid-level employee or you are an intern. One thing he always emphasized was, do not tell me your problem, give me a solution. And when he said that come to me with a solution, he did not restrict us with respect to what we can think.
Right.
So I mean, it was very easy to take up challenges, not because we were ambitious or we wanted to achieve something. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of us that might be true, but I think one of the very foundation that was laid for us was that we were always encouraged to try new things. We were always encouraged to find solution.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons it became relatively easier to take on any challenges.
Right.
Personally, I think there have been tons of cases wherein I came to Sid, told him, Sid, I'm not sure if I can do this. With my background, with my environment, the place I was brought up in, leading a team was something I could have never imagined. I was always somebody, while I was always a social person, as a professional, I always assumed that I would be someone who would be good at something small, will do her work properly and then leave for the day.
Right.
He was the one, and I think there were 4 years at that point of time between me and him.
Okay.
And he was the one who told me, nahi, mujhe pata hai, ek din you're gonna lead the team.
Wow.
And this was 2 years before I actually became the team lead for business development.
Okay.
But I think one thing that kept me going personally is chalo problem hai to hai, yeah, you know, there's some conflict, there's some friction, there's some big challenge you see. What can you do to go about it? बाकी सब सीट पे छोड़ो, वो देख लेंगे. Even if you fail, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think that confidence and that backing would do a lot of wonders.
So
right?
since our all interviews till date, he will never take no for an answer.
अच्छा.
उनका सिर्फ एक सिंपल लाइन होता है that मतलब मुझे ना नहीं सुनना है. ये करने के लिए क्या चाहिए वो
बता.
Does it mean extra cost? Does it mean extra resources? We'll work on that. But मुझे ना नहीं सुनना है. So that imbibed us with his level of thinking. He never gave us easy answers. He was never spoon feeding us. मतलब that's how we all developed ourselves. He always forced us to think beyond. मतलब he always said there are no rules for you. वो constraint क्या है वो मैं देख लूंगा. You just focus on thinking. So that helped us to think like him, to be like him, to see someone who looks up to him, and that has improved our decision making. That has improved to bring Smytten to the level it is today.
Right. No, fabulous, yeah, fabulous. I think.
And while we never spoon fed, I think the beauty of it all was that there were no consequences, rather there were no bad consequences if you gave in a silly suggestion.
So it's an open environment. You can say what you really feel.
Yes, you can suggest something which might not actually be feasible and be okay with it.
Be okay with it. Yeah, that's a big thing, right? I mean, that just kind of gives you,
yes,
like I said, a confidence to kind of just the way. And tell me something. I mean, what about family, right? I mean, you would have joined a unknown startup at that point in time, right?
Yes.
How did they react to it? What did they say?
So in the early years, I mean, there's, as she mentioned, that there were layers between us. We used to report to our office, our boss, and we used to go home. But at the same time, while few years down the line, while the team started building us with us, it was not only Sid जिनको हमको संभालना पड़ता था, but it was at the same time it was the team. तो there the difference basically that एक work life balance होता है, that never occurred in Smytten. It's a batch of youngsters, very energetic, very passionate. मतलब उनको जो सब बोल दो, just give a leeway. They'll rise up to the level. वो गलतियाँ करेंगे भी तो सामने से बताएंगे कि ये गलती हो गई है, but then at the same time they will rise to the new heights. They'll set new benchmarks for the succeeding generation.
Right.
So that all gave us the fuel to work multiple hours a day, and the family at the same time had seen us as an individual, as a professional, as a personal, that एक पूरा personality change हो
रहा है, right. It changes you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
From a team member to a team lead, the way you speak to your family members, the way you
confidence आता है,
the way you take part in the decision making matters.
Right.
They all are happy, and the beauty of obviously Sid being into Smytten is he not only knows us, he knows all of our families
as well.
Because,
he was mentioned. There was this inauguration or something,
yes,
where the family.
At multiple occasions, whether it's a Mother's Day, whether it's a new office inauguration, he not only makes us the part of the celebration, but also our family members. So a lot of married people have spouses who knows Sid. हमारे parents को, हमारे siblings को पता है कि what Sid is, who Sid is, I would similarly, I guess Pratiti might also have a say on.
Yeah. So when I started out, I had a different sort of a journey than what he said. Today, I think I'll agree with everything that he mentioned. But when I started out, so I had a huge group of friends, right? A huge circle, and I'm not kidding when I say I was the only one who was joining a startup.
Achha.
So there were people who got hired with Yes Bank, there were people who went to Infosys, TCS, KPMG, there were people who were traveling to other countries to because they also have a lot of lucrative options out there. And then here I was. So
and you guys sorry, I forgot to ask. You guys belong to Ahmedabad?
Yes.
Both
of you belong to Ahmedabad. Even better यार. तो यहीं पे बैठे इतनी अच्छी कंपनी, इतने अच्छे लोग हैं, बताओ.
So as female, yes, the only thing that made them comfortable with this whole scenario was that I was working within the city, and I was staying with them. So that was the saving grace for me back then. That was the silver lining for them. But otherwise they were very, very hesitant because तब जब मैंने ज्वाइन किया था तब स्मिटन को 1 साल हुआ था.
अच्छा.
So they hadn't heard about it. The minute you say Smytten, people will think about Smytten, which is a chocolate company, also based out of Gujarat.
Yes.
And which is unfortunately currently not as profitable as it used to be at one point.
Right.
So they were quite hesitant. They were very skeptical about my decision. But I think for me, the people I work with mattered a lot more. So, and again, I told you I wanted a company that will shut down very soon.
But now things would have changed, right? I mean, with the success that Smytten has seen, and so I think now they would have heard about it for sure.
Definitely.
तो paper में भी आ गया यार अब तो. So I think so.
Now we have stores.
Yeah, I know you have stores. Yeah, that must be great, right? I mean, you have one here in Ahmedabad as well, right?
It's opening.
Okay. Super. And just to close it out. What advice would you give to any youngster who's looking to get into startups? Anything?
You want me to start?
Would you want to say कि यार मतलब बहुत बढ़िया decision है भाई मत आओ भाई मतलब तो बहुत काम करना पड़ता है what would you say?
I'm the young folk.
What would you say?
I think when a lot of people when they think about startups they think about flexibility, they think about freedom, they think about this open culture, they think about there'll be no restrictions on what to wear, there'll be no restriction on what to eat, when to come, they'll be partying once every week. So all of those things are true to a certain point, but I think the reason I would want anybody to join a startup is because, and also understand this is, they have to be open to do gory work. They have to be open to start from the ground zero.
Right.
And when you do that, initially it might seem कि यार कहाँ startup join कर लिया. But I know today, doesn't matter. I have a 30 people team. It is impossible for me to know exactly at every second what each 30 of them are doing. But I know because of every training and grooming that I've received because of the organization and the structure and the system that we build. Any decision these guys will take will be basis, they will understand what are the loopholes of our system, what are the weaknesses of our platform. I know that they will ensure that they think not just about BD as a function but Smytten as a team. So something that is not okay from a supply chain perspective, I know they will try to take a different decision in those cases. So it is important that you start from the ground zero. You do not, even if you get a data entry job, so be it.
Right.
You have no clue how much information is there even in those scenarios. So the only advice I would want to give to young, or rather people looking to join startup, is do not join it for the glamour of it, but join it for all the exposure you are going to receive through this journey.
Very nicely said यार. यार तुम लोग को ये भी 4-5 साल के एक्सपीरियंस में तुम इतनी बड़ी बातें कर रहे हो यार. What is this यार? That's not done यार. Come on. No, please. I'm just.
No, but definitely all points. Startup, I would say, is for the young generation or for the very passionate people. It's a very nice place to show your talent, I would say, because that brings in a lot of clarity. I would, if you go in any organization which has a SOP set, which is a process set, the time till we think something and it is executed, the lead time is very high. But in a startup, the lead time of ideation to execution is very low. Why? And at the same time, it's not only that you will only succeed in a startup. It will show you very bad days. It will show you that decision making is not so easy. It will not be always correct. But yes, one decision which is correct out of the 100 decisions taken, it will change your colleagues or the people in the world's lives.
Right.
So for the passion of it, for the talent of it, if you want to do justice to your talent, I would say please, for a certain time, do join a startup.
Wonderful, yeah, fabulous. And I must hand it to you guys. I took an early morning flight in, right, and I was a little tired when I got here, but not anymore. I think just the vibe and kind of just talking to you guys, lots of energy, and I'm sure you guys will continue to rock as you go along. Well done, guys.
Thanks.
And look forward to kind of seeing more success coming from you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hope this will help someone.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm sure it will.
Thanks for
Right?
having
Thank
us.
you so much.
Thanks
Thank you
a
so
lot.
much, guys. Now, after the youngsters, we've got some experienced folks in the room with us, right? So thank you guys for agreeing to do this, right? I don't think you had any other choice. So, I'm just kidding. A quick round of introduction, from you all, where if you could just tell us about what you are looking at in the company and obviously about yourself.
So my name is Krishan. So it's been almost like 11 months that I had been working with Smytten, and I take care of the offline vertical, basically the retail.
So all the retail stores that are coming up, that's something, that's the piece that you are.
Right.
Right. Okay, super.
So I'm Khanjan and I'm looking at the finance, the overall finance, the complete finance of the company.
Okay.
And I joined around 15 months back.
Okay.
So doing all the bit of in-house accounting, from accounting till analysis, everything.
Everything
is
Okay.
in the finance is done by my team.
Okay, super.
Thanks. Nice, everyone. My name is Tamanna. I take care for the HR function for Smytten. Completed a year and 3 months. The journey has been tumultuous.
Okay.
A lot that has been done in the organization on the HR space. I, along with a team of 9 members, spread across both the locations, that's Ahmedabad and Bangalore, bring in smiles on people's faces and responsible for a lot of upskilling here.
Okay,
So that's
super.
the-
And you guys obviously come with a lot of experience, right? I'm assuming 10 plus years for you guys?
In my case, it is 22 years.
यार ये तो बोल रहा था he is not old.
I'm not old.
ये cheating है.
सारे बाल काले.
ये cheating है. Wow, 22 years, huh?
Yes.
Amazing, huh? And all in the same sort of retail.
No, so I was
space?
in F&B, then apparel,
Okay.
mostly in retail and F&B. So
Okay.
I started with Domino's Pizza as
Oh,
a
wow.
management trainee.
Okay.
My first retail job was with ITC, with
Okay.
Smytten. Then I was in Landmark Group.
Okay.
I worked in Reliance Brands also.
Okay.
And I was the Nike retail head before this.
Wow, amazing. What are you guys?
So I have around 13 years of experience.
Okay.
And I have across all the industries. Means I have worked in retail, I have worked in manufacturing, I have worked in service, I have worked in even a mortgage bank.
Okay.
So
Wow.
the experience is across the field and few of the startups as well. So few of them were startups. So
Okay.
very well aware of the bookkeeping and everything
Yeah,
about
I'm sure.
startups
I'm
and
sure.
how to get it done. So
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Super. And what about you?
Yeah, so I have been over having 20 years of experience. Started off as an operations associate, that was in IBM,
Okay.
almost 20 years ago.
Okay.
After that journey in life was what was my calling. I actually didn't find that very interesting. I thought interacting with people was something that I loved, and recruitment could be the only way ahead. Took the plunge, started off as a recruiter, scaled up, joined Tata AG, have worked primarily into BFSI space.
Okay.
Last assignment was again with a startup.
Okay.
I was leading the HR for there.
Okay.
And I think moving in from BFSI to startup to coming into something which is very different, a marketplace. I think it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It absolutely is. So before I jump into the other question, so do you guys belong to Ahmedabad or you guys have moved?
No.
Or
First time.
Both of them don't. I do.
You belong to Ahmedabad.
He's from Ahmedabad. I'm basically from Himachal.
Acha, you from
But I've
Himachal.
never stayed there, so
Okay.
most of my stint has been in Bangalore, Bombay, and Delhi.
Okay.
And now Ahmedabad.
And
And I am from Bombay.
Bombay.
Yeah.
Acha. Very nice. So, two parts to this question. One is that, you guys could have gone anywhere, right? I mean, in terms of your experiences and all, right? So, why did you choose Smytten? And also the second part of that question, Ahmedabad, right? I mean, it's a bit of off-center kind of, location, right? It's not Bombay, it's not NCR, it's not, Bangalore and all,
Informal
right?
answer दे सकते हैं?
हाँ बिल्कुल हिंदी में भी बोल सकते हो सर आप कोई
इसलिए
ऐसी बात नहीं यहाँ मिल जाती है वैसे तो
यहाँ FOMO ज़्यादा होता है.
That's a good reason for people to look for a job in Ahmedabad. No, but why Ahmedabad? Why Smytten? I think I think that let's start.
See,
with
actually,
that.
me and Khanjan had worked in the previous organization, Chhavi.
So we know each other
We
from
know
the
each other
past.
from there.
So,
And I think they were looking for somebody as a retail head.
Okay.
And I spoke to him.
Uh-huh.
So my first interaction with Sid, which
Okay.
happened,
हाँ.
तो उसने मेरा जो पेन पॉइंट था पहले लाइफ में उसको खत्म कर दिया. तो मतलब if you look at Sid and Swagat, the way they interact people, they make them very comfortable. They're very
Right.
humble
Right.
to the ground.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that was the predominant reason for me to take the plunge.
Okay. Super. What about you?
For me, I love to do something which is very challenging.
Uh-huh.
जो स्लेट पे कुछ नहीं लिखा होता है
हाँ.
उस पे लिखने का अलग ही एक
Wow, so
किक
nice.
मिलता है.
Yeah,
तो
absolutely.
when there was nothing here, starting in from ground zero and building it
Right.
to where it is now, and
Yeah.
obviously under the guidance of Sid, who was leading the function, so
Right.
even to live up to his legacy itself was a big thing. But by far I've understood that when in startups, the ecosystem that you're trying to build is absolutely the way the founder wants it. Right, so that's something that incited me to join here. I worked earlier as well in a startup, but Ahmedabad and startup and somewhere where there was nothing. I think all these three places, just three things fell in place together, and there I was.
Amazing. What about you?
For me, it was quite simple. Like you said, I was also having my own consultancy helping
Acha.
the startups and
Acha, same,
raising
same.
funds.
Okay.
So I was more on the raising
The fundraising side.
fundraising
Acha,
side
acha,
of it.
Okay.
So at that moment of time, I met with Sid, and Sid was, and he is a gem of a person.
Yeah.
And once after meeting him, it was like okay, I again getting back to the job.
He mesmerizes you some manner.
So and finally I feel it's at the end of the top management, founders play a very important role in getting the talent on.
Yeah. मेरा मन कर रहा है अहमदाबाद मूव करने का after speaking with Sid for 1.5 hours.
It's like
I get it.
There was one more thing actually. सारा scratch से start करना था. Build. So अभी तक जहाँ पे भी काम किया था हमने, it was like the concept was already there. You had to implement and execute. This was the first time where we had to do everything from the scratch. So I can probably say the stores which you see, they are our baby.
Yeah.
तो वो कहीं और पे it was not.
And that's a different high, right?
Yes.
I mean, we're building
That's
something.
probably the only
So,
high that all of us
accounting
get.
for us, like it was like a complete, means completely outsourced.
Yeah.
Everything outsourced. Bringing it everything together, the whole journey of it,
Right.
and making it in house or getting all the compliances done, everything means.
Right.
So it's like it was exactly what like she said. It's
Right.
like a high kick you get in doing those things.
Yeah. No,
So-
superb. And obviously one and like Sid mentioned it, when we were speaking, this is a young team,
Yeah.
right? So how easy or difficult was it to kind of
I guess
it's a you get a lot of energy from
Yes.
youngsters as well, right?
Yes.
But I think as we grow older in life, there are it becomes difficult to unlearn stuff.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
And,
it
and I'm
does.
not talking about you guys, I'm talking about myself as well.
Yeah,
It becomes
Who
difficult.
underwent the journey. We all
That's
did.
how we are
So I think it's a
Yeah.
journey, right? So
Yeah.
you would have gone through that phase. So walk us through that. How did you guys kind of deal
I
with
think
that?
the one and only thing all three of us learned it the hard way was it's very difficult to get adaptable to their thoughts. almost the employees here are for him and for me, it's like our children's age, almost a little over there, right?
In fact, my son is doing internship abhi.
Oh, is it?
He's in first year.
And mine is 17 years old, so I could completely relate to how they feel, right? The energy, as you rightly said, you actually need to draw energy from them, and unlearning and learning was the most interesting process. When you come with certain baggages, it's so difficult to unbaggage
right.
and then do it. But these guys make it so easy. In fact, they take you through the whole process, like they make you comfortable. So the one thing at Smytten which I realized was people were happy to make you learn. They were able to share. They were able to take you through the journey from zero to where they were, and in the process accept you. Acceptability of all of us who came in with so many years of experience, coming
That's also
into
a big thing.
Yeah.
No
The
doubt.
whole thing was very smooth, and also you need to understand that everything cannot be urgent, important, critical. That one thing I realized from them. I think that was so important for me because everything couldn't have been urgent, important and critical.
वो हम लोगों की ना एक हैबिट बन जाती है काम कर करके ना, ये भी इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये भी खत्म करना है, ये सारा काम खत्म नहीं होगा तो उसमें ना ये पूरा काम हम लोग खत्म नहीं करेंगे तो how will it kind of go and just give me a second. There's some music that has started playing here, so we have to make sure that the TV is off. Just a second.
All right.
Wow. That was amazing. The TV started and suddenly Coke Studio Shack बज रहा था. बज रहा था. All right, so we are back. I've shut down the TV. So yeah, so what I was saying was, we always get this habit ना कि यार ये काम खत्म करना है, ये काम खत्म हो जाना चाहिए, इसको खत्म करो, and then we kind of the day ends and everything, right? So I think that is a big process to kind of and the energy, right? How do you keep up with that? I met these guys just now, and these guys are like,
Do you find the energy level is the same or it is a little less in us?
यार देखो उम्र के साथ साथ थोड़ा मिल गया
सारी सच्चाई बोल दी.
थोड़ा कम तो हो ही जाता है, but yeah, I mean definitely the energy levels are good, but obviously they're the youngsters, right? So they come with a different set of energy, right? Yeah. So how was that adjusting to that?
So yeah, I'll go. So basically, initially, definitely, that is like you said that kind of experience they are having, that much more experience we are having. So means it was what do they know? So initially started with that, and then understanding their thought process, and they were quite open, means sharing everything with us.
Wonderful.
And the main thing was the guidance of Sid as well in that. Right. So even he played a very instrumental role in mixing both the groups.
Yes.
Now in today, it is not two groups, it's like one group. And that one team, creation of that whole one team, that lead like Sid has made that happen.
Super.
And even as far as energy goes, so like even experience, we say that okay, they don't have outside experience, but the way they think about it, it's no less than anyone outside who has worked. So you gain that respect. Miss, and after that, it's like okay, we are together. It does not matter whether we are outside or inside, or it's one thing.
It's one Smytten. Actually, they all made us, even both the locations. For me, it was more important to ensure that the demarcations never showed up, because locationally we were different, headquartered in two locations. But I think this team had that much energy, those sensibilities, I think that sensitiveness as well, to ensure that we all transitioned very organically into the system. We didn't feel like outsiders. We were never treated like ones. Especially when there are startups where you have leadership coming in from outside, vis-a-vis the leadership that has grown within. Typically, वो demarcation दिखता है.
बिल्कुल.
यहाँ पे, I think Sid and Swagat, the one thing that they ensured was culture first, values first. And I think all of us kept that first, and very subtly and smoothly got into the systems.
Very nice. So if you were to kind of give this advice to other kind of people who've kind of worked for many years, would you say join a startup, right?
Yeah, of course.
For sure. And especially after working for so many
Without
years.
a doubt, I think if there was, I think pauses are allowed, a full stop isn't. And I think this is the only way you could learn. I mean, learning should never stop.
Right.
And I think joining the startup, the domain there and joining Smytten, I think was one of the best choices. All of us think we did. Unanimously, I could say on their behalf as well.
Right.
If there was any startup that we could have kind of, thought of even retiring from, it could be Smytten.
Very nice, yeah. Very nice.
And to the oldies out there, experience is overrated.
Actually,
because you're unlearning everything as you're coming into this environment, right?
And in our generation, actually, what has happened is we've always lived two lives. Office का एक घर का.
Yes.
What the youngsters have done is उनकी single life.
Correct.
जो घर में है वही सामने है और जो सामने है वही घर में.
This is fabulous. Great insight.
I think that's a great learning.
Right. And that changes you.
Yes.
When you know that
So
you
we
can
saw
be your
ourselves.
authentic
Yes.
selves and all.
But having said that, our energy level is better than.
ये नहीं मान रहा. Okay, given.
I think it kind of rubs in on you, right? Even if you have a little dull day or if you think that age is catching up, these guys ensure it doesn't feel that way. They just have ways to make you feel good.
You feel like you have to dress well.
Yeah.
No, very nice. Yeah, great, fabulous. I think thank you for your insights. I think it's been wonderful catching up with you guys and wishing you a lot more success. I know it's the beginning of your stint and journey here at Smytten, but I think from what I've heard and seen, I think you guys are kind of gelling really well, and I'm sure this is going to go to the next level very, very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, sir. So. Any closing comments for entrepreneurs? Anything that you would want to kind of say to our young entrepreneurs who are watching?
Yeah, there are a few parts to it. I'll say while from outside when you hear funding, everybody thinks it's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to do undoubtedly, but it's a tough life. It's a tough life. It's a lonely life if you don't have the right set of people around you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't just jump into it because you're seeing a lot of green things outside in the media. It's not that green. Let's face it. There's a lot of fun element to it, but more than that, it has its tough times which can actually take you apart.
Got it.
So what I suggest to everyone who's doing it, be thorough in your work, and most important is get a co-founder. अकेले मत कूदो इसमें. ये अकेले जब आप कूदने गए ना, it's a journey. I really appreciate guys who do it alone.
Right.
Though rarely I see it also, I must admit. You have to have a co-founder you know in and out. You can't. I get surprised when I see on LinkedIn, I'm looking for a co-founder. It doesn't work this way. It's a lot more than just the work. It is the equation between two of you, which is built over a period of time. So that's what I would suggest.
Right.
It's don't take anything wrong from this. It's a reality, but it is something. As I said earlier, I would not exchange this for anything else.
Wow.
Best years of my life.
Amazing.
Wherever I enjoy every day, every hour, every minute, every second of my life.
Amazing, and it's visible. It's wonderful, right? Thank you so much for your time. Right, it's been great, hearing you and your team and about your entire journey. Right, thank you guys for watching, and like always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is Unotumbler Stories signing off from Ahmedabad, and now we will enjoy the Gujarati farsan and snacks that we have, on the
Thanks
table.
for coming down all the way to
No. My pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.